First of all, I can't wait to see you all in person. I think that we should, first of all, thank Michael and Kate and everyone at Writers Theater for giving us this opportunity to create this piece. Bravo, thank you.
My perspective mostly comes from being at the show at night, and I hope you all realize what an extraordinary gift you all collectively gave to our audiences. It continues to be the show that people talk to me about, and it just gives me such great pride that I can say with great affection how incredible you all were to work with, what an extraordinary project this was. The piece itself has such great meaning, and especially now, right? We need a little bit of this love going around.
I think that experience kind of spoiled me. I honestly genuinely can't, out of all my productions before and since then, been with a group of people that I felt have been so loving and willing to collaborate, and to have that experience when I'm 17 years old was crazy.
It never, to me, because there have been moments in different productions at different institutions where I've been like, this don't feel right, and y'all are asking me stuff to be Black, and it's a little bit uncomfortable, but that was never a thing with this production at all. We were able to show up how we showed up, and what was asked of us had nothing to do with this color of our skin or anything of that nature. It was just truly about the work that we were doing.
Agreed.
I think the biggest thing that it does is honestly, like, it lets me set a standard of how we should be treated as professionals, because you treated us so well, and then there's other people who don't treat professionals as well, and I'm like, okay, Writers Theater set the standard, and anything that falls beneath it, you guys, just because you guys are exceptional, you guys should be exceptional should be the bar, that you should reach. And you guys set it high, but I feel like everyone should reach it. And I feel like that's what Trevor really stuck with me.
We never felt more welcome than there. We were obviously talking to a number of theaters that have done this before. Writers had not. It also speaks to us as a company in the same way. Everybody at Writers knew that the partnership was going to create the success. It wasn't going to be the theater telling the producer what needs to be done.
And the fact that you all wanted to do it, that Mark and John and Josie saw it and went, that's what we want to capture. But I will say to you what I said to them, which is, I love that this has inspired you. And part of it is, I know you really get the purity of what I was going for with the film and the spirit. I know it is in such good hands. And that's where I give Dan a lot of credit, because Dan has had to dig deep. And this is what I kept encouraging him to do. I go, I found that film version is me. It's the Peggy Trevor, right? But now you got to find your Dan Trevor and put that on the stage with Julianne.
It's just the whole experience in Writers Theater was such a pleasant, joyful, we always felt supported. We were always taken care of. And no matter what it was, you all were there to make sure that we were able to see, the work that we intended, to write. And that's an incredible thing.
I do remember going into paying audiences coming in with not totally trusting the reactions that we had gotten until that point, because as you said, not only this was beyond just having audiences that were friends of the theaters. We had this giant cast of 13 to 16 year olds that just sort of begged for goodwill. And so when we had these early audiences, I was like, they're just being nice. They're just being nice to these kids, and I do remember being like, oh my God, we're getting those were real, the way they were reacting to that stuff was real. It was very exciting.
But being a kid, you don't always have this same level of respect that from the staff and the adults and even the creative team. But at Writers, we had the love and respect from the staff, and we had it from the creative team, and we had it from Celicia and Jordan, the adults and the cast. that just made it easier to build and just easier to go in every day, giving it 100%.
And that needs to be recognized because you guys are just simply amazing, and we cannot look forward fast enough to do another piece with you for that. And it was brand new. You know, it was absolutely brand new, and it was a phenomenal experience, and every producer should be able to know that about Writers Theater.
They should be lucky enough to be at the Writers Theater.
But my favorite memory was definitely our dance, because I was remembering that as prom was getting canceled and all those things, and I was like, wow, that was really kind of them to set that up for us. And I think it just showed like the environment of the cast, not just the show, and like how much we meant to each other. It was great. Yeah.
It was just like a really nice place to be. Like, even from the like surface level point of like the facilities are so gorgeous. Like, it's so beautiful. It felt like, ooh, I'll go to work today. And it was nice, and also everyone was nice when I got to work, you know.
Right.
And I often think about some of my memories of being on stage and just looking out during the final dance number, and it's just like, it's so beautiful and everyone's just having a good time, and it's like that's like what Riley was saying was the bar. It's like, that's what I want to chase now, is just like theater. That's why I want theater. I love theater. And I love you guys, and I just have to say that will always be a piece of me. So
I love you too, Declan.
Maybe, Peggy, maybe somebody will come see the Broadway show and think, let's turn this into a movie, and then it'll come full circle.
I'm just waving. You know, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised by anything. Oscars, thousands of short films submitted, right? Gets picked, makes a nomination, and then, oh my God, it wins. Then it gets picked up to be on TV, on HBO, like millions of people get to watch it. Ellen DeGeneres, the year she comes out, hosts it, which had already been on the cover of like you couldn't have gotten anyone hotter. And then, after all this, out of nowhere, somebody options it to be a musical. Okay, so that's kind of crazy anyway, right? And then they actually give it to Broadway after this wonderful staging at a prestigious regional theater that saw it and loved it and helped, you know, nurse the baby along. I mean, just again, just on the level of odds, like if you run the odds, which some data person can do, you just go, okay, man, something's going on here.
Right? That's where the magic is.
And I tell you, the only thing that wrecks the magic is when we get in its own way. And this is what I mean about it has been embraced by people who understand the concept of being of service, which is what I think art does.
I agree.